Aquarius, and welcome to How to Attract Abundance for Aquarius in August 2024. 2024, 200, 2000, whatever, you know what I'm talking about, this year. If you don't know what year it is by now, you're in trouble. Okay, so welcome Aquarius. I don't have any technical notes in this video, so we should just be able to jump right into it. Hopefully it's not 500 years long like the Pisces one. How have you been? How's your mom? That's good to hear. I mean, okay, so like, what is it? It's Leo season. The first card I'm seeing here is the Strength card, which is a Leo card. And you know, Leo is your opposite sign, so there could be a lot of just like energy within your life right now that feels unaligned, or like your manifestations seem far away from you, but they're just around the corner, just around the corner. Okay. So the energy that you're walking away from is the Ace of Pentacles, which is having received a small gift, a token of appreciation, or a tip. And then my last video, I was talking about how Pentacles to me are like smaller amounts of money, and swords are like these enormous amounts of money. And okay, so that's what I see. So it's like some small amount of money. That's what you're walking away from. And you're really concerned right now about strength, or a large animal like a dog or a bear or a mountain lion or an actual lion or tiger. Lions, tigers, and bears are the strength card. The strength card also, to me, I mean, this is not in the advice position, but whenever I see it, it's always like a call to focus on your sacral chakra. And your sacral chakra is like I think people always, like I always say, and by people I mean me, always say that it's like your abdomen and like your abs. So if I see somebody who has like the strength card reversed in their 5th house, I'm like, oh, okay, they are, their ego is fractured by however their belly looks, you know? And the advice that I would give to them is, you know, do like a sacral chakra meditation, go on and get happy, go touch a dog, go, you know, whatever, play in nature somewhere and get attacked by a bear, you know, something like that. For some reason, the state of California just popped up in my head because they have like bears or whatever. Okay, and then so that's what you're concerned about. And so like, but you know, that's your concern, and the situation is you might be having like nightmares or something. The Knight of Swords, the 9 of Swords. So there's actually a lot of swords in this, which is very Aquarian. The Nine of Swords is like not being able to stay up, not able to sleep at night, and not being able to speak correctly. So the blanket depicted in the Rider-Waite 9 of Swords has a bunch of astrological symbols on it. And I feel like for Aquarius, they feel like they got into spirituality and astrology too late in life. But, you know, not to be morbid, I do feel like they get into it at more of an intensity at the right time, because they're just not a Pisces yet. And then when they are reincarnated into their like Pisces life cycle, which is how I feel reincarnation works for whatever reason, then they'll be somewhat born with the knowledge that they were acquiring in their Aquarian life cycle. So it's never too late, yada, yada, yada. You might be like, oh, I should have went to college. I should have started studying astrology later. I know for myself and my own spiritual journey, for a really long time, you know, when I was like a preteen and a teenager, I didn't understand the house system, and I was like, oh, these houses, whose house, what are they talking about? Until I just like forced myself to sit down and read it, and then I understood, and it was super simple and easy, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that I felt like this was such a task, you know? But for some people, I was talking to somebody, and they're talking about how they're just getting to astrology now, and they're like 38. And I was like, well, you know, unless you just start reading a lot, I was like, it's very daunting to be able to apply your knowledge. Because I mean, for me, even with my delays and hangups and whatever, I would say that it took me about like 10 years to really like hone my skills. Probably from like the ages to like 12 to 22. And at like 21, like 19, 20, 21, 22, I was doing like chart readings for my friends, or I would do like secret language of birthday readings. So my friends would like call me with their prospective dates or whatever, and I would just look up their information on, Joanne Wolffolk, maybe? Joanna Wolffolk? Secret language of birthdays? It might be a different person. Oh, let's use the internet, okay? Yeah, so we're using the internet to find out who the author of this book is, just so, I'm not a jerk. But that's what I would do. And then probably by like 24, 25, that's when I had the confidence to read tarot for other people. I practiced a lot. Okay, here's the name. Totally wrong name. Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and Jose Elfers. Okay, everybody knows that book. Secret Language of Birthdays, Secret Language of Destiny, Secret Language of... There's another one. If you don't know that book, you shouldn't be watching these videos. You're not into astrology enough. Okay, and Joanna Wolffolk, I think, wrote the book, The Only Astrology Book You'll Ever Need, that big blue one that everybody has, or should have. Everybody watching this video should have. If you don't have that book, log off, go read that book, come back. But yeah, so the Nine of Swords, it's like all this anxiety about, starting too late in life. What is it, like Rose's Turn? Bette Midler, started, what did she say? Something, you know Broadway, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, look it up, Rose's Turn, Bette Midler, and just listen to every word in the song. But also the Nine of Swords to me talks about like candle magic. So if you haven't been able to sleep, perhaps someone's lighting candles on you. Maybe you're lighting too many candles on somebody else, and like the smell and the anxiety of having a lit flame overnight is bothering you, or the light that's coming from it. I do see like a blue light, so this could be like a television light, neon fluorescent lights. I was telling somebody earlier today that the Nine of Swords is like noise pollution. And at the time of me recording this video, it is close to the 4th of July, so it could just have been people, fireworks and things like that. Yeah, and so it's just like, and then also like mean things that people have said. So, like someone might have tried to poor shame you, or said something about your body and it's keeping you up at night. But just know, like, anybody that's throwing daggers at you, the only reason why they have those daggers to throw is because somebody threw them at them first, right? And now you can, just in the sake of being petty, you can now pick up those daggers and use them against somebody else, which is what people usually do. But then also, it's like, know that people come from a deep-rooted place of hurt and pain. So if somebody's like making fun of you for not having finished college, most likely they either struggled to finish or they didn't, because it's a point of contention from them. If somebody's making fun of you because your lack of travel or worldliness, it's usually because that's what their ego is based off of. So if you're talking to some French guy and he's like, oh, Americans, they don't travel. And it's like, well, don't really have to. All my family lives around me. I go to the Piggly Wiggly. I'm content. I go and I play with my fiddle and strum my banjo and sing Yankee Doodle all day, drinking Mountain Dew and Cheetos, and I'm happy, that's a good enough life for anybody. And there is this thing in me, and maybe I'm just a toxic American, like the Bonnie McKee song, I was raised on 7-Eleven and television, but from the experiences that I've had with, from Washington, D.C., so I've met people from everywhere, from, Rio to Harare to New Caledonia, just like weird, like I've discovered new countries that I did not know exist doing tarot. Literally thinking that I am ready for a geography section on Jeopardy, and then to learn that I know nothing of the world. But you know, in this day and age, you can travel the world from your phone or from doing tarot readings for people in countries that you didn't know existed. And what was I talking about? Yeah, so just know that anybody making fun of you, they're just trying to repair their fractured ego. Um, and that travel is a curse. So travel is a curse, and mediocrity is not a sin. And so I see at the center of this, like the hidden influence is the Three of Cups reversed. I don't necessarily see the Five of Swords here, which is people lying by deceit, but that could be, you know, people lying about having travel. It's the summertime too, so you know, I guess like coming August, coming back from like summer vacation. If you're like a teacher, as much as I curse in these videos, hopefully you're not a child watching this. You know, but like a lot, you know, even I was thinking about it in the past, there were summers where, you know, there were summers that I went to amusement parks and did fun things, and there were summers where I didn't travel. And I'm sure that in the tradition of storytelling, that a lot of people, when we, you know, reconvened in August and September, were lying, you know, and that's fine. Like, and all my videos, I feel like whoever's watching this might be dealing with like immigration issues or something, because it's like all these epiphanies I was having about other people, like in meditation, you know, in telepathic communication, where they're, you know, when you are illegal or whatever, like, you know, you might lie about going to college, but then you might also lie about traveling because you may not be able to travel and you need to keep up appearances. Um, so in this Three of Cups reverse, I'm seeing like your drinking buddies, you know, they might be lying. Oh, I went to Dubai, I went here. You know, these photos were photoshopped or whatever other means they can get to fabricate a story for the sake of storytelling, which is fine. And you know, the other video, the Pisces video, was about lying as well. So there's a lot. So the month of August, there's a lot of people casting illusions, doing genjutsu, putting up illusions and lies around where they're currently living, what country they live in, and maybe for some. I mean, I know that on TikTok, which I do typically see TikTok as the Ten of Swords and not the Nine of Swords. They give you like suggested locations for where you are, and somebody might view that as being deceitful or lying, but giving up your actual location to millions of people or to people, whoever, how many people you have following you, might seem deceptive, but to one person who is too trusting of the world, you know, you know, for me in my TikTok, I'm like, I don't need to have people know where I am, you know. I don't care per se, you know, I will give out my address if somebody, if need be. I'm not that paranoid, but for your safety, it's probably best that people don't know exactly where you are all the time. And, you know, I don't see any Eight of Wands here, so I don't see there's any reason. I do see the Eight of Swords here, so this stuff might make you a little scared. But it's like, you know, in this day and age, you can look up anybody's address on the internet if you know their name and how old they are and whatever it is. So it's just good to have a little bit of a fog or a haze around you. And I know that other people who want to humiliate you or who want to attack you or, you know, ostracize you for being different because you're so different, Aquarius. And people hate that because they spend so much of their time trying to be the same, lying about going where they went on summer vacation, knowing God knows they didn't go anywhere, you know, or lying about how good of a time they had, or the, you know, the whatever. And even for myself, I know that everything is yin and yang. So there's times where I have pictures that look like I am literally on top of the world, and it's only because I'm in a space where I need to pull myself out of an emotional pit, you know? So if people are lying, let them lie, I guess. You're going to bust everybody's chops. But, you know, that's just what I'm seeing. And then so your advice or how you're going to attract abundance in the month of August, constantly have to be reminded, is the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands definitely talks about Leo energy. It definitely talks about the month of August, but I always see the Five of Wands is like I always see it as family feud. Like when I'm doing a Reddit reading, I'm just like, okay, family. Like you're caught in a family feud. Everybody in your family hates each other, or your group of friends are like in a pissing match, or like who has the biggest wiener contest. But it's also a struggle to be heard, and in a group of five people, it might be difficult for someone to emerge as a leader and to be like uh, the lead guitarist, you know. But I think that with a little bit of magic and a little bit of time, I think that people will start to accept their positions, and it's like, okay, somebody has to play the drums, somebody has to play the bass, somebody has to be the lead guitar, and someone has to be the manager and the roadie and this and that, and you can't necessarily treat people like Yertle the turtle and just like sit and shit on them all day and night, right? But also within the Five of Wands, somebody has to be correct. You know, it can't just be people voicing their baseless opinion out into the void for no reason, or, you know, as your advice, you know, this might be your advice, like maybe, you know, your fight and struggle to be heard shouldn't be amongst your drinking buddies or your friends and trying to convince your family of your intelligence and power and intuition. Just save it for your blog. Do it on a blog, do it on a TikTok. Most likely strangers will have more compassion for you because they don't feel like you rejected them in some way, shape, or form, whatever. You know what I mean. And if you don't know, it's not for you. So your advice can't be just like you're in a family feud, deal with it. But it is kind of like you're in a battle and you have to go through it and you just kind of have to bark the loudest until they're ready to listen to you, or just find a way that you can be heard. Which that might be a microphone. Like I know that like when I start these videos, I'm always talking about like the room tone. There's like some fan going somewhere. I don't even know where it is. I think it's like my AC or refrigerator. I'm always talking about my microphone or not having a microphone or whatever, and it's like that's part of it. That's part of the Five of Wands, and I really need to figure out what that is, what that noise is coming from, because it is bothering me a little bit. But so, you know, and then even I guess like, because I'm seeing here like the outcome here is like the Eight of Swords, where it's like you might be feeling like anxious, you know, like, so, you know, if you're in an argument and everybody's saying like the sky is red, and you're just like, shut the F up, it's effing blue, I hate all of you, and, you know, you just whack them all on the head, like sky is blue, sky is blue, sky is blue, knock them all on the heads. You might be anxious that they're going to do the same to you, or in what way they're going to retaliate, you know? So it's like, it's kind of like throwing stones and then running away and hiding, whatever. But, you know, in a battle, in a war, that might be the best way to do it. You might have to throw these stones to get these things through people's heads. I know for me, as a Mars and Venus and Saturn and so many other things, Aquarius, that sometimes you do kind of have to hurl, like, you know, not even necessarily hurl insults, but just tell the truth from a distance. And it might scare other people, it might even scare you, but the truth has to be told. Like I did a reading for this woman today, and I was like, oh, you're walking away from a good luck cycle, and she was so like turned off by it, and I was like, okay, well, you know, as amazing as that would be to constantly be caught in a perpetual cycle of good luck, like how nice would that be if you won the lottery every day? How amazing would that be if, you know, you got selected to be on the Family Feud with Steve Harvey, but every episode, it's not special anymore and it loses its magic, you know? Like you have to wait until Jupiter is in your sign, or you're having a Jupiter return. Like you just can't have good times all the time. And this woman, her name's like something like Mimosa Moon or something on Reddit. She's like a total jerk and left like a mean comment. I think I read for her too before, and she keeps calling me a Chinese fortune cookie because the readings that I do on Reddit are like, here's your reading, don't talk to me. If you like it, we'll do more. If you don't, I'm not going to absorb your toxicity. based on whatever fear mindset you're in, right? And I know that's why a lot of readers are very selective with who they work with. But I'm just trying to like be heard as well. So, and then I guess like also as an Aquarius, as you're studying, as you're trying to further your astrological knowledge, and I'm giving you all this advice with books, just be aware that there are other readers who are jealous out there who don't know how to get clients or have social anxiety, and the only thing they can think of to do is to attack other readers. So instead of being on the offensive of just like going and carrying the ball to the end zone, they're like, oh, I'm just going to tackle whoever has the ball. I'm going to take down whoever's king of the hill, and that's going to be my marketing strategy, which I think is ridiculous. And even my tarot reader, who was, 90 years old, she warned me about that. She's like, oh, she told me to get on Keen, still not on Keen. She was on Keen, and she's like, and then there's other readers who go on there who try to like attack your reputation and debunk you and this and that. And I'm like, literally, I can do a million Reddit tarot readings without fear because I have used my psychic abilities, affirmations, candle magic, tarot readings, psychic intuition to literally have I've literally used it to save my life before. In situation, I digress. But the energy that you're heading towards is the King of Wands reverse. So if you're trying to attract the attention of a King of Wands, I see that they are still not giving you the time and attention that you need. King of Wands, it could be a Sagittarius, it could be an Aries, but I mean, like, we're looking at the month of Leo. We have the Five of Wands as advice. So this could be even like a family feud or competition for who is the father's favorite. But especially when the King of Wands is reverse, who's the father's favorite or who's the Leo's favorite. But also with the King of Wands reverse, it reminds me of Steven Universe. What's the song? It's Over. Because it's like, you might have spent your entire life fighting for your father's approval or acceptance, especially as an Aquarius, Leo. They both experience abandonment issues from their parents. Leo, I think it's typically like one parent that is missing. Aquarius, a lot of the times it's both parents that are missing. But it's like, you might have been fighting with your siblings over who's your father's favorite. You might have become a basketball player, a lawyer, a professional dancer. You might have your father might have loved professional wrestling, or might have been a wrestler, might have loved professional wrestling when you were growing up, and then you became a wrestler, and then he dies and leaves all his money to your sister or another sibling or your cousin, and you're like, why was I chasing him and following his footsteps for, And then especially when it's like you don't get the pat on the back or the approval that you're looking for. So I see that being a huge energy for Aquarius in the month of August. It's like, it's over, isn't it? He loved you, you were his favorite, we were in a competition, you won, and now he's gone. And then even that, being the winner or loser in that competition, like, what did you ever even plan to gain, Especially if he wasn't going to pass his baton down to you. Yeah. And then also, like, the Five of Wands and this King of Wands reverse energy, it could be talking about, like, smoking, like smoking cigarettes or whatever. Like, the Pisces reading, I saw it being more about alcohol. And once upon a time, back in 2018, when I was doing readings, like, only on Instagram, I think it was 2018, 2019. It was right before the pandemic. Like, all of my readings were like, stop smoking, stop drinking, stop smoking, stop drinking. And I was like, I mean, like, I'm no saint, I'm no angel. I love a cocktail. I love a spliff or a doobie just like anybody else. But and then it was right before the pandemic, so it was like, yeah, stop smoking, stop drinking, because your energy might be really slutty when you're drinking. You're gonna be around a bunch of people. You're addicted to going to the bar. It's not about It's not even about loving alcohol. It's about loving other people and wanting to be around them, or wanting to fight them about how much your father loves you more than whatever, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like my dad was an airline pilot, or something like that. When I just said that, I got this flash because we're also talking, the Pisces, we were talking about people lying, which I haven't seen the Five of Swords, which is my usual like Libra lying or trying to win by deceit card, but the Five of Wands is similar, I guess. But it reminds me of that episode of The Simpsons where Marge thinks that her father is an airline pilot, and he's actually like a flight attendant, or whatever the proper terminology is. But I'm pretty sure for Marge Bouvier's father, the proper terminology would have been like a stewardess. And, you might think that that's just like job shaming or poor shaming or whatever, but I think that, because I remember that episode so vividly right now. The anxiety and the fear that it caused for Marge was like, it's almost like gender dysphoria. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, like my father's a stewardess, like he's gay, So I don't know, that popped up in my mind too. And parents be gay, like parents have kids to, like a lot of times I feel like in a more benevolent sense, like people have children to put to rest rumors of homosexuality, or to create distance between them and their ex-lovers of whatever gender. So, if your father's lack of attention seems arbitrary, you might remind him of his feminine traits or feminine qualities. If you had a gay wedding and your mother and father didn't show up, and you're thinking that it's because they don't approve of you being gay, they could just be jealous that they didn't get to come out and love and marry the person that they wanted to, because they didn't see it as a possibility. And talking about smoking weed, I'm psychic and all this, but I never thought weed was going to be legal. I thought it was always going to be, you have to damn near join a syndicate just to get a gram every once in a while. But nowadays they pretty much sell it at the gas station, so it's all cool. And I think that for a lot of people, and I mean, people in the 1950s, they obviously had a longer time to wait. People in the 1940s obviously had a longer time to wait. And for me, it was like just around the bend. And in my own life, in this, oh my God, how long is this video? This is the Aquarius video, so I could talk about social justice issues and things like that, about how I think that gay marriage is just just wedge politics, and it's something that gay people never wanted. But it's I mean more in the sense of like having an optimistic outlook on life. So like I said, you could have had a wedding, could be a straight wedding, you know what I mean? But your parents were pessimistic, or they didn't believe in love, and now they see you experiencing love and friendship and whatever, and they don't attend. And you're like, oh, they hate me. And it's like, they don't hate you, they hate themselves, they hate their own lack of faith, that they didn't have faith that they were going to find love, or that they could be the person that they wanted to be. And they're just going to have to sit and be miserable forever until the Grim Reaper comes and rings their doorbell, while you get to be happy and live your... I mean, Willem says the F word all the time, but I really feel like people are trying to like cancel me and shit, but you can live your little fairy life, Yeah, so that's my message. A bunch of homophobic slurs and pejoratives for Aquarius, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.